This footage was almost never seen. On a cold day in November, I was on top of the Library of Birmingham. With a cannon in my hands, I shot indiscriminately the indifferent people below. I had left the house that day to film around the city centre. I was reading a lot of poetry at the time about the Black Country, a country crushed under the steel-capped boot of industry, gagging on coal smoke, incinerated by artificial fires. Disfigured beyond recognition, the cut festers like an open wound bleeding across the terrain in long, tar-black canals. A county fathered by violence, its progeny prospers with the brutality that founded it. Hidden from view, counterfeit coins passed through the palms of pickpockets, who hid the sharp cut of violence in the brims of their caps, lurking out of sight. At the time of filming this footage, I was unaware that a man would grab my camera and threaten to kill me if I looked at him. I was shooting below a flyover at around 7 p.m. As it got darker, I was careful to hide my camera in my bag when moving to another location, but this time I forgot. I lived a short walk away from the flyover and strolled down a pedestrian tunnel with my camera in hand when a man stepped around me and grabbed my camera. I looked up at this tall, broad-shouldered man who was holding my camera, and I said, "I'm sorry?" He looked away, almost indignant, and sighed, "Come on." I took the strap holding the camera to my neck off and gave my mugger my camera. I placed it in his hands, and he held it cautiously so not to break it. I paused for a moment, looked up at him and said, "Can I get the memory card?" His face balled up in confusion for a moment, then he replied, "Quickly," and I hastily tugged at the bottom of the camera, taking the memory card. As I was doing this, he yelled, "Quick, I will shoot you, and don't look at me." Once I had the card, I stood opposite him for a moment. I must have looked frightened. He told me to walk away, and I did. As I walked out, I heard him shout, "Don't look back, I will shoot you." I walked until he stopped shouting, and I did not look back. I was scared and confused. I didn't run away. I didn't immediately call the police. I didn't even warn the woman walking into the tunnel where I had just been mugged. When the police arrived, they invited me into their car to drive around Birmingham, looking for the thief. They showed me the parts of Birmingham where criminals would be most likely to lurk, and asked me if I saw a mugger anywhere. In my head, I was panicking, because I could not remember the mugger's face. I looked for a man holding a camera but could not see anyone. At the police station, I gave my statement. When we were finished, the police dropped me off at my flat, just 200 meters away from where I was mugged, and left me. In the days that followed, I did not leave my flat at night. If someone on the street overtook me in passing, I flinched. The coat I wore on that night hung in my closet for 8 months before I wore it again. Even now, I see it as the coat I was mugged in, and have a quiet fear that it could cause me to be mugged again. The police rang me and asked if I could review the footage from the memory card, in case anything was there that might lead to the arrest of the mugger. I reviewed the footage. The metadata informed me that the crime must have occurred sometime between 6:50 and 7 p.m, and the last images recorded on the memory card are of the area where I was mugged, under the flyover. When filming, I was trying to find an aesthetic for this concrete landscape, but now my eyes dart around the edges of the frame. I searched for a vague glimpse of the man who mugged me. This is the final video I shot moments before I was mugged. Did he stalk me as I shot the traffic, unaware? Would I see the attacker walk out from the pedestrian tunnel? The man who mugged me was never found. The footage held no hidden truths as to the mystery man's whereabouts or motivations. I have no idea where the camera is now. Perhaps it was sold in a pub or cast aside. I like to imagine the mugger felt a need to use the camera. It comforts me to imagine a story where the mugger saw what I saw in the viewfinder. A story where he felt compelled to make his own films. Perhaps he has made a movie just like this, about a man who desperately needed a camera If the man who threatened to shoot me is watching this, thank you for not harming me and allowing me to retrieve the memory card. I hope you are safe, and I forgive you. When I was a little younger, I used to fantasize about the moment I would be attacked in the street, the things I'd say, the strength I'd summon, and the combat skill I'd manifest to put down any and all who threatened me. I do not fantasize anymore. The threat of violence was enough.